everyone. My name is Miss Samantha, and I am from Great Solution Learning Center. Now, in today's video, I'll be talking about how to score 14 out of 15 marks consistently for your summary writing. Let's begin. So in this video, I'll be showing you the importance of understanding the requirements of the summary question, how the summary is scored, as well as share tips on how to score both for content and language. And let's not forget how to write the final summary answer. So let's begin now. Now, the summary question is the final question in the non-narrative comprehension. Students are required to identify and extract relevant details from the passage, paraphrase those ideas in their own words, and abide by a strict limit of 80 words. And that is why many students struggle with the summary, because that's a really tall task. However, if you follow these tips in today's video, you'll be able to score well consistently. And that's really important because the summary is worth 15 marks. In comparison, the other questions are only worth about 1 to 2 marks, 3 marks at most. So this makes the summary a crucial area to score as much as possible. Now, the marks are divided as such: 8 for content and 7 for language. 8 marks for content means students will need to find 8 distinct content points from the text. However, students are generally recommended to find 8 to 9 because teachers will be quite generous. The passages will usually include 9 to 10 content points. This is so that if students miss an earlier point, they can compensate for it with a later one. Now, after finding the content points, students need to paraphrase them. And this means you have to change the wording without changing the meaning. And of course, students will need to write their final summary in continuous prose. This means putting all the points into complete sentences and connecting them into one paragraph. Please do not leave your answer in point form. So students, I recommend you take a screenshot of this page. This is the marking rubrics from the MOE website. So let me just go through a few simple things. Usually, students will get about 3 to 4 marks upon 7 if they attempt to do some light paraphrasing and organizing of ideas. But if you apply the tips properly, you should be able to get 5 to 6 marks upon 7. So this is what we hope to achieve. Now, here is a sample summary question. If you can take a screenshot of this, you can do so now. Otherwise, you can also pause the video and read through the question in your own time and hit resume when you are ready. All right, so I trust you're ready to continue. So let me share the first content tips with you now, and that is to analyze the question keywords. Now, this may seem like a very tipped, but that is also the most important one because you must know what the question is asking you for. Otherwise, you might miss out important points and even include unimportant ones. So the keywords from this question are benefits and drawbacks and ordinary people, because I'm going to look for what's good about surveillance, what's bad about surveillance, and only for ordinary people. So if I see any points about organizations or governments, do not include those. Tip 2, remember to include supporting details, because if you have the main content point, but not the supporting details, that point is incomplete, meaning 0 marks. There are unfortunately no half marks at the secondary school level. So supporting details provide more information about the main point. Look out for relative pronouns like that and which, because they indicate that you're about to see supporting details. Let's take a look at an example. Security cameras collect evidence that can help authorities to solve crimes. So if I have this in my summary, but not this, I will unfortunately get 0 marks because my main content point is incomplete. So remember to look out for relative pronouns. Final tip for content, do not include examples because examples merely substantiate the main content point. They are not the main point themselves. So look out for words like for example, for instance, because they indicate that you're going to read examples. However, you want to be absolutely sure, so always read the descriptions. Does it serve to illustrate or substantiate a content point that has already been mentioned? If yes, remember to not include it. Okay, so let's apply the 3 tips to identify the content points for our earlier summary question. Students, if you want to pause the video now to read through the passage on your own, unpause the video when you're ready. Okay, so I trust that you're just about done. Remember, my question is about summarizing the benefits and drawbacks. Let's start with sentence 1. Surveillance is embraced with open arms as a means to greater security. Aha, so this is my first content point. Next line, CCTV cameras around our estates, for instance, make us feel more secure. So for instance tells me it's an example. And is it an example that illustrates content point 1? Yes, because it's about greater security. Let's move on. We engage in surveillance as an enjoyable activity offered by devices that enables us to observe the people in our lives as never before. So this is my relative pronoun. So remember to include the whole thing as part of my content point 2. Last sentence. Platforms like Instagram allow us to keep track of our friends' activities and know their thoughts almost instantly. So like tells me it's an example. And is it an example that supports content point 2? The answer is yes, because it is about observing the people. So what I can see is that from this paragraph, I have 2 content points. And these 2 are examples that I'm not going to include. Okay, now in the second half of this video, I'll be sharing with you 3 tips to score for language. So let's take a look at a different summary question. If you want to pause the video to read the question at your own pace, you can unpause the video when you're ready. All right, so I trust that you're ready. Now let's assume that I have already found the points from paragraph 3. Here they are. Students who join co-curricular activities have fewer behavioral problems. Number 2, in sports CCAs, the rigorous practices instill discipline. Number 3, students take pride in their accomplishments, meaning when they win competitions. Number 4, they gain self-respect and the respect of their peers. And finally, this then deters antisocial behavior. So I have already analyzed the passage and identified 5 content points. Let's start with synonyms. How do we use synonyms to paraphrase those content points? Now, synonyms are words of similar meaning, and we can use them to do word-for-word substitutions. For example, if my original passage uses the word unnecessary, I can use words like needless, superfluous, or excessive to replace unnecessary. You must take note. Is the original word from the passage and the synonym similar in terms of intensity, connotation, and context? Only if all 3 are similar can you use that word. So let's take a look at what context means. So I'm going to paraphrase the first content point now. Students who join co-curricular activities have fewer behavioral problems. Synonyms for have: own, possess, demonstrate, display. For behavioral refers to conduct, problems, obstacles, challenges, and issues. So which synonyms cannot be used? Own and possess are not accepted because they are words of the wrong context. You cannot possess a problem. You cannot own a problem. Similarly, behavioral problems are about the student's behavior itself and not external issues or external challenges. As such, I cannot use own and possess or obstacles and challenges. So the other synonyms are accepted. But what if I cannot paraphrase them using synonyms? Well, that's where I can use word forms instead. Now, this is a very useful paraphrasing technique because sometimes using a synonym is difficult because I cannot think of a suitable one. So I want to use nouns, verbs, and adjectives and adverbs to apply changing word forms instead. For example, let's say this is my content point. Okay, so how would you paraphrase leadership, solving, and management? It can be tricky. For example, can I change the word management to control? Absolutely not, because time management and time control are two vastly different things. So what I do is I change leadership to lead, solving to resolve, and management to manage. So you notice that these are nouns that have been switched to verbs. They all have the same root words, but they are in different word forms, all right? So let's compare the before and the after. So students, I'd recommend that you take a screenshot of all my answers here. So you can do a side-by-side comparison from the synonyms to changing word forms. How did I paraphrase the 5 content points? I'm going to move on to the next slide. Now, finally, I want to use conjunctions and transition words because don't forget, I have 8 separate content points. But if I write them as 8 separate sentences, my ideas will sound disjointed. Remember, I have to write my final summary in continuous prose. So I want to connect them using conjunctions of addition, contrast, and cause and effect. Now, students, I welcome you to take a screenshot so you can use these words in your summary next time. Let's move on to the next slide. Besides conjunctions, I can use transition words because these act as signposts to guide the reader through the passage. For example, if I think about the previous summary question, the benefits and drawbacks of surveillance for ordinary people. So let's say I want to write benefit number 1 and I want to go to benefit number 2 now. I can use words like furthermore. But if I want to go from the benefit to the drawback, I can use words like in contrast or conversely. All right, students, I recommend you take a screenshot now as well so you can use these words in the future. Let's put all my 6 tips into play now. The final summary is as follows. Students, you're also very welcome to take a screenshot of my answer so you can learn from this practice. Now, in this video, I've only shown you a peek at some of the techniques involved in scoring well for your summary. So we'll go through other techniques such as how to differentiate between relevant and irrelevant points, as well as more tips on how to do paraphrasing. So if you're interested in learning them, you're welcome to drop us a message at 8495-1120. And that's the end of my video. Again, my name is Miss Samantha, and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've learned something new.